everyone. Today we're doing dilations, which is really the 11.7 notes. We're just using a page from here. So you guys can go ahead and delete or cross off this and write 11.7 notes. All right, let's get started. So you guys probably already did the intro on dilation, so some of this will be somewhat familiar to you. So we're going to say the enlargement or reduction of a figure. So it getting bigger or smaller is going to be a dilation, and the scale factor indicates how much it will get bigger or get littler. Okay, so the variable that we're going to use for scale factor is k. And we'll say when k is greater than 1, the dilation is an enlargement. And when k is less than 1, the dilation is a reduction.
Daddy.
Okay.
Daddy, where are you?
So for these practice problems really quick, they give you the scale factor, which is right here as k. So all we have to do is multiply, and I'll maybe put a note of that. Okay, we're going to multiply each of these numbers, so each of these three sets of numbers by 2. Okay, so we'll start with r. We have -5, 1, so we're going to do -5 times 2 and 1 times 2. Okay, so it's going to be -10 and 2. And then for s, we have -3 times 2 and 4 times 2. So we'll get -6 and 8. Sorry, I wrote 4 here. And then times 2 and times 2. And we will get 4 and -2. All right, and then you have to graph this. Don't forget to read all these instructions when you're doing problems. I'll get bright color for this. All right, so R, our new R, and a lot of times they put a little apostrophe after them to show it's the new dilated version of our shape. So R is going to be -10, +2. And then S is going to be -6, +8. Right here, I think. And then we have +4 and -2 right here. Okay, and so then you just connect these. Okay, so that is our new shape. Now the next one, we're going to again have an enlargement, and we're going to this time multiply each number by 3. So we'll do it by 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And you don't have to write these all out. I'm just doing it so you guys can have reference. Okay. So now our new coordinates are going to be, our new A is going to be -9, and anything times 0 is still 0. And B is going to be 3, 6, C is going to be 6, 0. And D is going to be -6, -6. Okay, so now we need to graph it. Go -9, 0 is going to be here. 3, +6 right here. And 6, 0 will be here. -6, -6. Oops. Be there. Okay, and then you just, and if you're on Notability, obviously you make your lines very nice and neat. Okay, so there's your new dilated shape. Sorry about that. Okay, so these two are going to be obviously smaller shapes than what we have, okay? These are going to be our reductions. Okay, so we're going to change this rhombus. We're going to multiply each of these times 1/2. Okay, so we have the first one, -10 times 1/2 is going to be -5. 2 times 1/2 will be 1. Half of -2 is -1. Half of 8 is going to be 4. Half of 6 is going to be 3. And half of 2 will be 1. And then we have -1 and -2 should be the last two. Okay, and then we'll graph it. And then a good way to check is, like, does it look like it's a smaller version of the shape? And if not, then maybe you need to check on your graphing. If your graphing looks right, then maybe you need to check on your math of your multiplying over here. Okay, so -5. Oops, sorry. I did 5, 1. So -5, 1 will be here. -1, +4 will be here. +3, +1 here. And -1, -2 will be right here. Okay, and then we'll just connect. It looks like we'll get a shape that looks similar to the other one, so we probably did this right. And it is smaller. There we go. So now this one will be 1/4 of each of these. So I won't write it. I'll just write multiply. Okay. So 1/4 of -4 is going to be -1. 1/4 of 8 will be 2. And if you don't know how to do this, you could do it as a fraction. You could do like 8/1 times 1/4. Okay, right? And then you'll get 8/4, which you can simplify to 2. I'm not expecting you to be able to do all of these in your head. So the next one would be 10 would be 2.5. So you would get like 2.5 for that one. And then 0 is easy because anything multiplied by 0, still 0. And then y would be -0.5. And -8 would be -2. Okay, so remember we're looking for a shape similar to this WYX that is smaller. Okay, so -1, 2 will be here. 2.50 will be here. do your best with the 0.5s. And then negative 0.5, negative 2. Right there. Okay. And there you have it. And then for this one, remember I said that sometimes they'll put an apostrophe after when they do a new shape. So this is going to be our new shape. We know it started small, which means it's an enlargement. And then this one, the one with the apostrophes after, this is our new shape right here. And this one is going to be a reduction. Okay, so we're going to pick the letter, write down both sets of coordinates, and then we can look at what we think the scale factor might be. So first we have M and M apostrophe. So we have regular M would be 1, 4. And then their new M is going to be 2, 8. And then K, regular K, looks like it's 3, 1. And our new K is 6, 2. Okay, so let's think about what we think the scale factor is. They're not asking you this question, but just in general. In order to get from 1 to 2, from 4 to 8, from 3 to 6, and from 1 to 2, what are we multiplying by? It is going to be 2, right? Okay, so now this one, we started with, our regular A was 3, 6, or sorry, 2, 6. Our new A is going to be 1, 3. Our original C, which is here, going to be 6, 2. And then our new C is going to be 3, 1. And then what do we think the scale factor is here? So we went from 2 to 1, from 6 to 3, from 6 to 3, and from 2 to 1. So the scale factor for this one, for this reduction, is going to equal 1/2.